Hi, this is Jill with JourneyWithJill.net, and my biggest garden pest over the years has been the squash vine borer. If you've ever looked at your squash or your zucchini plants or even your pumpkins, and one day they're doing great, but the next day they're completely wilted and dead, you probably have a problem with the squash vine borer. The squash vine borer is a grub that bores itself into the stem at the base of the squash, zucchini, or pumpkin plant, and it eats the plant from the inside out. So before you even know you have a problem, the plant's dead. Now, there are a lot of different methods that I've read to prevent the squash vine borer, but unfortunately I haven't had any luck with that. So what I have to do right now is basically dig it out. Now, this is a really ugly process, but unless I do it, I'm going to lose the plant. They will eventually die with the squash vine borer, no matter what you do. But there's a possibility of saving the plant if you can get the squash vine borer out of the vine. The best way that I have found to get rid of the squash vine borer is to actually cut open the plant and dig the little sucker out and get rid of it. Unfortunately, this is not an easy thing to do and it's not all that fun, but with a little bit of practice, you'll kind of get used to it. So I'm going to do this for you today and to show you my method. Sometimes the plants don't recover from this kind of trauma, but a lot of times they do, especially if you have a strong, vigorous plant before the borer infestation starts. But the first thing you do is you have to look for signs of the borer, and then you have to go in and get it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So the first thing you're going to do is inspect the base of your squash or zucchini or pumpkin plants. And right here, you can see on this vine, this sawdust-like looking frass. What that is basically the remains of the squash vine borer chewing through that whole stem right there. And after that, you know where to dig, and you're going to start cutting into the stem to try to dig the borer out. So in this one, I dug in deep enough to find the squash vine borer right there. You can see its little head picking out, and I'm just going to grab it and lay it down, and that is what you're looking for. Now, I'm obviously going to get ready to kill it or feed it to the chickens, but what that does, that's a pretty meaty one. That one is chewing through the whole vine and will kill that one squash plant by itself. So you want to get rid of those as fast as you can. In order to save this plant, you can see I had to do some major surgery on it. I'm going to bury it in soil and it will reroot, so hopefully it will be able to be saved. Doing surgery on your squash and zucchini plants probably isn't what you had in mind when you decided to be a gardener, but if you want to save these plants, this is probably the best method to be able to do so. So hopefully, if you can get your squeamishness out of the way, you can dig those little worms out and then be on with your gardening and get lots of squash and zucchini and pumpkins even after you're done. Have a great day.